What up, Leaguers? Welcome to the Spectacular Spoiler League. I'm the Pandan Superman, the mayor of Hype City, Greg J. Hazy. And as always, I'm joined by the Gotham Knight, the Prime Minister of Post-Production, Chris Boyce. And today we're here in the Hall of Spoilers to give you the top 5 characters from Avengers Infinity War. People have been asking us to talk about Avengers Infinity War, and let it be known that the Spectacular Spoiler League, the Hall of Spoilers, is a hall governed by the people. Top 5 characters from Avengers Infinity War. D. Boyce, start them off with number 5.
Number 5, we've got Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch. Actually, that brings up an interesting question. What is her name?
I think we do often call her Scarlet Witch, and we don't actually call her for Cap. We'll say Steve Rogers or Stark, but we really don't say her name that often. We really just say Scarlet Witch. Her name is Wanda Maximoff, like you said.
It is. All right. Well, Magneto confirmed in the MCU. Anyway.
Tell them why we got Scarlet Witch at number 5, man.
Scarlet Witch, I mean, she definitely got a glow up, quote unquote, in this film, because honestly, wasn't the best showing in Age of Ultron or in Civil War. I mean, there was obviously, people kind of clown the character, and rightfully so, for her accent and then half accent, and now it's totally gone. But in this movie, they honestly did the whole romance between her and Vision, particularly her end of the thing, her end of the romance, rather well done. I mean, obviously it wasn't the most amazing romance ever, but it didn't detract from the film at all. Now, obviously she's in our 5th spot, given that there are a lot of characters in this movie, because this is probably the fullest extent of her powers that we've seen in any of the movies thus far. And she was definitely, spanking cheeks in this movie. I mean, she fought off Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive, while putting the Vision on her back early on in the film. And whenever she was around, she was rather clutch. She always kind of came in to save the day. And I think most importantly, she finally bit the bullet, so to speak, and destroyed Vision, destroyed the Mind Gem, thus exploding Vision, sacrificing, I guess, their relationship for the betterment of the galaxy, of the universe.
Yeah, I mean, this is the closest we've ever gotten to seeing full-powered Scarlet Witch in the MCU. I mean, a lot of people, I feel like, have complained about her character sort of not showing the potential that her, comic book counterpart has. But my goodness, man, she was out here like during the final battle in Wakanda. My God, I was like, Scarlet Witch was out here just flipping stuff, man. Like she was beast. Son, the Outrider ships were just, coming in. She threw one up in the air, something like that. I don't know. She was just doing a lot of stuff. If I'm not mistaken, she's responsible for the death of Cull Obsidian, right? Isn't she the one who threw him up into the Wakandan dome? And I think that was
Banner. He put the hand on him and he got sent up. But she did she did flip up those like subterranean things that they had, that they went under the shields, and they were, I mean, the size of a building pretty much. You just kind of flipped them up with a flick of the wrist.
Those were huge. With a flick of the wrist. She flipped those up. I was like, Scarlet Witch holding it down. Also, big ups to her for killing Vision. Like, she did, like, a lot of characters, and it's cliche in a movie where the character's like, I can't do it. I can't. And she was like, I can't do it, but I'm going to do it. Yeah. Bang, bang. And daughter of Magneto. And doing it up.
Another key thing is she seems to be the only character that can destroy an Infinity Stone.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I mean, it was pretty much up to her. And she was kind of holding off Thanos with one hand at the same time.
Son, Scarlet Witch at number 5, baby. I dare you to move her off this list, man. She's out here holding up Thanos, man. The Mad Titan himself, man. With the whole gauntlet. Yeah. Come on. So that alone, I didn't even think about that. That alone, man. Number 4. Number 4. The Scarlet Witch at number 5, man. Excellent choice. If it wasn't for, like, she had gotten more stories, she would have been higher than that after you telling me that. But at number 4, we've got Doctor Strange. His real name and his alter ego. Doctor Strange. And, Doctor Strange you know, he sort of was in a position of like wisdom, you know, with him seeing the time stone, using the time stone to see all the potential futures in which the Avengers were successful. I believe there were like 14 million outcomes, and only one of them saw them successful in defeating Thanos. And Doctor Strange, for me personally, you know, I don't know about you, D-Boys, but for me personally, he's more on this list not because of what he did during the movie per se, but more so for what he means going forward. Like, this, whatever the idea, whatever's going on right now, you know, Tony asking Doctor Strange, like, why did you sacrifice, you know, yourself for me? Why'd you sacrifice the time stone for me? And Doctor Strange saying it was the only way. This is all going according to the plan. Doctor Strange has seen the only future in which this works out, and he is perfectly cool with going with the flow, even if that meant him getting turned into some dust in the wind at the end of the movie. And I was like, that is pretty dope. Like, he was also doing some baller stuff on, you know, in the fight with you know, in the fight with Titan with Thanos and you know, Iron Man, Spider-Man, you know, some of the Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange. Yeah. You know, he was doing some dope stuff there. And I was like, man, Doctor Strange done grown up, man. It's like, all right.
He was definitely, I like the little homages that they threw to the Master of Mysticism in the comics. I mean, he had the Crimson Bands of Sidorak, where he threw and he wrapped them around Thanos' arm. They go kind of like those glowing tentacle things that he threw at him. Right.
Damn, that sounds like an ancient STD. But what?
The Crimson Bands of Sidorak. Threw him.
That's like something you get on your inner thigh when you've been messing around with some dirty people, man. I don't know. My man said he got the Crimson Bands of syphilis or whatever you said.
And then he did the many arms thing, and then he split up. I think it was sort of like a reference to an Indian god. I forget which one it is, but the Indian god of war. Yeah. And then he kind of split up into all those you know, doppelgangers of Doctor Strange. You know, he was going up against Ebony Maw, who did scoop him. You know, Ebony Maw, you know, put hands on him.
Put in some work. He put in that word. But Doctor Strange wasn't playing. I think it's Vishnu that's a reference to, the god of destruction, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but I agree. I agree that he's more so on this list, not just for, you know, what he did, like how cool his powers were. I mean, he definitely stepped up. But I think he definitely stepped up as the Sorcerer Supreme by being the master planner. We've yet to see. I mean, we'll know by next year, but maybe it's because of him that the heroes were able to win, quote unquote, whatever that may mean at the end of the day, because he had the foresight, you know, to kind of just look into the future and see, you know, we got to lose this battle to win the war.
Yeah. I mean, and just to wrap that up, I mean, some people have some complaints about him sort of seeming a little ornery in comparison to Tony Stark, you know, particularly when they sort of had a back and forth, you know, and he called Tony a douchebag and all this other stuff. But to that, I'll say Doctor Strange is kind of always like that in the comics. Yeah. Yes, he's sort of a wise ass, but he's also a little bit more like stoic than Tony Stark is, you know, like, and especially when those two go at it, like Tony Stark is definitely perceived as more of the Joker, whereas, you know, Doctor Strange is the straight man. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't mean the Joker as in the comic, you know, DC Comics Joker. I mean, you know, Tony Stark is perceived as more of a clown relative to Doctor Strange, and he's a little bit more stoic, but also very much of a wisecracker. So, like, I felt like his ornery response to Tony Stark was textbook Doctor Strange. I think that banter and that exchange between them was 100%, you know, him and Tony Stark interacting. I felt like that was like the comics jumping off the page. I don't know how you felt about it, man. But that's how I saw it.
I totally agree. I absolutely agree. You know, because Doctor Strange is probably in the MCU, I'll say, he's really the only person that has as big of a head or big of an ego as Tony Stark does. So they're definitely going to clash like brothers would. But, you know, at the end of the day, they work best together. You know, it's one of those things like they could joke on each other, but if someone else is joking on them, it's like, no, that's my bro right there.
Right. And they gained that respect during the movie, I think, and I think that was really cool. I thought that was really cool to see them grow that way. But speaking of Tony Stark, D-Boys, hit him with number 3.
Number 3 is the futurist Tony Stark, aka the Iron Man. I mean, he's one of, if not the best character in the MCU. Many can argue, and he definitely came in. He was not playing games in this movie in Infinity War. I mean, first of all, his bleeding edge armor, the nanotech armor, that was phenomenal. It just looked baller.
When he first stepped up and he transformed, man, and he was just, oh my God. I think we were both in the theater. We both were like, whoop, whoop. We were like, whoop. Oh my goodness. I nearly jumped out of my seat when I saw that, man.
It was, and the thing is, we saw it a whole bunch of times in the trailer, but it's just seeing it in the movie and seeing like additional shots, and more importantly, seeing the armor in action. I mean, he was going toe to toe. He went toe to toe with Cull Obsidian. He went toe to toe with Thanos. I mean, he was holding his own. And I mean, he was super clutch and just kind of transforming different parts into a shield, into a sword, into the boosters to fly up into space, to kind of do this roundhouse kick and like lock Thanos' hand onto the ground, like clamp it down. I was like, this is like just the logical evolution of Tony Stark's armor, and I had no idea that it would be this way, but it totally blew my mind. It went from him having one suit to a couple suits to him jumping from different suits in Iron Man 3 to this. Baller.
Bro, the whole time you're saying this, I'm just nodding in approval, bro. I'm doing the Diddy Bop in my head, bro. That's what I'm talking about. And look, you're spot on with it.
And look, not to take away anything from Spider-Man, but that Iron Spider armor was made by Tony Stark, and it actually looked dope. And spoilers, they actually did have the Waldos, which are the arms that come out the back, and they were hot. Because
you're gonna say spoilers at this point. Like, you haven't already. If you're already listening to this video, first of all, my sincere apologies because we spoiled you before we even got to say spoilers. But technically, it's in the name, so spectacular spoiler league, baby. You walked right into it. I'm sorry, but yeah, go ahead, man.
But no, I mean, we're both not big fans of the Iron Spider suit in the comics, especially with the Spider-Man with the arachnid arms coming out of it. But it was actually, it looked cool in the movie, and they used it correctly, like when they needed to. And him obviously working together with Strange, one of our entrants in this list, working with Spider-Man, getting the Guardians to get their shite together and almost succeeding despite Star-Lord just messing everything up.
Like bum-ass Star-Lord. Don't even bring up Star-Lord in this conversation. We talking about the good, man. We not talking about the bad and the ugly, boys. All right, don't do it to me. All right, don't you do it.
And he put his life on the line, just like just like Doctor Strange, But he was able to survive, and we'll see him. And I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows what he's gonna bring to the table in the next movie?
All I gotta say is Tony Stark is, where's my man War Machine's upgrade, man?
I think they want to keep that retro '90s look, where he just has the aggressive, excessive shoulder cannons and the little light gun, the minigun coming out his shoulder and all that. I mean, War Machine put in some work.
He put in some work, man, but my man, come on, man. My man War Machine is walking around with like a tin can. And my man Iron Man is walking around with a smartphone. And my man War Machine is walking around with like those big ass, like the original cell phones from like the early 90s, bro. Like, come on, man. Hook a brother up, man. Can he get some technology?
But look, my man was spared by Thanos, though. He was spared.
He was spared, man. Hopefully they give him an upgrade.
I agree. They should definitely give him something, because he's out here looking like a Nintendo Labo over here with his boxy ass armor.
My man he's got the Atari suit, and my man Tony Stark got the PlayStation 4, man. Like, what's going on here, dude?
I'm sure the people on the ground were looking up, and they're like, is that a Minecraft character flying around? What is that?
My man Tony Stark got the 4K suit, and my man War Machine got the 144p going on, man. Like, what's good with this? Come on, man. My man Tony Stark got the full on-screen keyboard, and this guy War Machine got the T9, man. Like, what's good, man?
He's just a glorified shoebox.
Damn, man, come on, man. Y'all gotta do something better about this, man. My man, War Machine is rocking some of those old school Chuck Taylors from the 50s. Tony Stark got the fresh J's, man. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, man? You got me like Marvin Gaye out here. What's going on? What's going on? Come on, man. Anyway, number two, we've got the Lord of Thunder, the God of Thunder, Thor. Like, I mean, dude, Stormbringer, first of all, coming in, showing up to the Guardians of the Galaxy, making Star-Lord look like a bum ass. Having everybody on the team fawning over him. He got his look back, man. He got a new cybernetic eye, courtesy of Rocket. But I mean, I enjoyed his storyline. I enjoyed his arc, you know, him getting Stormbringer. And not only that, but triumphantly, like, coming to the Wakandan battlefield and whooping some candy ass, bro. My God, Thor was just coming in, I mean, you know, the strongest Avengers at this point, at this time of recording, are easily him and probably Scarlet Witch in terms of, like, raw power. Yeah. Like, Thor came in, smashing some heads. But I just enjoyed his arc and, you know, him coming into, you know, the movie having lost his brother, having seen, you know, a number of his people slaughtered, having Heimdall, who he revealed to be his best friend, which I never knew. I never knew Heimdall was his best friend. He lost his brother and his brother. See, you messed that up, man. You could have been like, he lost his brother and his brother, but you messed that up, man. You see, you messed that up, man. He lost his brother and his brother. You know what I'm saying? He lost his brother from another mother and his brother from another mother. So it was tough on him, man. I didn't know Heimdall was his best friend, bro. I was like, yo, Lady Sif and the Warriors, what he at though? Yeah, I mean, three of them are dead, but I mean, come on.
I mean, he didn't give a damn about the Warriors 3. I mean, I thought
he didn't say nothing in Ragnarok about them.
I thought they were always cool, him and Heimdall, but I thought that his friends were the Warriors 3. And you know, he was close with Sith, but it's like, we're past that, I guess. I mean, they should bring Sith back, but you know, that's a different discussion.
Bring back Jamie Alexander, please. But Thor had a great arc during this movie. I love the talk that he had with Rocket, where, you know, he showed that emotional side where he's like, yo, I've lost everything. Like, what do you want me to do? Yeah. Just be defeated? I can't do that. And I have a feeling that those words are going to echo and ring true with Rocket when we pick up in Avengers 4, because Rocket, you know, he's the only Guardian left. Yeah. You know, he's the only Guardian of the Galaxy left. And I think Thor's words will come back to him in that respect. But also, let's not forget, Thor landing a critical blow on Thanos. I mean, son, listen, Thanos is a beast in this movie. Like, the first thing he does is whoop Hulk's candy ass. Hulk got beat so bad he didn't show up for the rest of the movie. Real talk. He didn't show up for the rest of he got his ass kicked 5 minutes in, didn't show up for the rest of the 2 hours and 30 minutes, man. That's you don't get any more certified G than that. And Thor came in there, he was like, I'm gonna put this bloody axe right through your face. Thor would be number 1 on this list if he had just gone for the head.
Yeah, I mean, and look, the other thing about Thor is, and he has some similarities with the number 1 entrant on our list, is that Thor said, I'm gonna come for you. You got me now, but I'm gonna get you back. And what did he do? He got him back. He didn't kill him. He didn't kill Thanos, but I mean, we'll see what happens in the next movie. But Thor is definitely a man of his word at this point. He's definitely grown. I'm sure Odin, wherever he's at, is I don't know. He probably doesn't care. Odin's probably sleeping somewhere or something like that.
Odin dead, bro. He dust just like everybody else, man. You saw that? My man turned into pixie dust at the end of Ragnarok, man. He dead, bro. He's gone. He's gone. He's dead, bro. His dust is over there in Holland somewhere, or Norway, wherever he was at. But Deep Boys at number 1. Speaking of number 1, we've got the one and only Mantis. Now, Deep Boys. Oh man, my bad, man. Drax said you too ugly to be number 1, Mantis. I'm sorry. Listen, Drax said it, not me. I'm just repeating the words, man.
And I believe
Deep Boys
Drax.
hit him with the. I believe in Drax, baby. The man knows no lies. Let him know, Deep Boys. The true number 1 on this list The only option for number one, in our opinion.
Yeah.
Let him know.
Number one is the Mad Titan himself, Thanos. I mean, the star. I'll say that he's the star of this film, and probably the standout character in the movie. I mean, he was in large part the reason, and credits to Josh Brolin and obviously the Russo brothers for directing it, and whoever was responsible for the CG as well for making him look as good as they did.
Was involved in that.
Yeah.
What a digital
shout outs to them. I mean, making him just, you know, I mean, he's a despicable character, but it was just fun to have, I guess, a classic villain who, you know, you could take serious and who definitely kind of changed the landscape of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and just kind of, I mean, he's really the first villain that's set out to do something, said that he's going to do something and fulfilled on that. And in a spectacular way.
He won.
He won.
I don't know if there's any other villain that we could say won.
Yeah.
Like, won, bro. He didn't die. He got exactly what he wanted. He won.
He won. And, you know, I mean, like I said, can't exactly relate with the character. Don't agree with the character. But at least there was some logic there that made some type of sense. And, you know, just the practicality of the character. And how you can tell sometimes he was just kind of holding back because he didn't really take pleasure in going out there and just whooping all his ass. He was just doing it because he felt it was his duty. He felt that, you know, he was the only one capable of fulfilling this job, and he felt that it was for the good of the universe because he's you know, an environmentalist, a very sick environmentalist who's worried about overpopulation.
Listen, man, you know, the Russos took a big ass purple dude who's got testicles for a chin and made him one of the most baller villains I've ever seen in superhero cinema. And, you know, shout outs to the Russo brothers because I gotta be honest, I thought they were talking out the side of their asses when they were talking about Thanos being a protagonist. I was like, oh, here goes another director ahead of a movie talking about, you know, their villain and how great their villain is. And
Hazy,
you know,
we're talking about the Russo brothers here. We're not talking about Zack Snyder. I mean, come on.
Dad, you just wow, you just massacred more people than Superman did in Man of Steel. Good God. Wow. That, Woo. Woo. We just turned half the DC fans into dust with that one. Lord have mercy. I'm not even touching that one. But, I mean, you threw me off with that. The Russo brothers really and truly, Thanos was the protagonist of this film. And when I say protagonist, this is his story. Yeah. Like, people are sort of pointing out how, you know, long some of the other characters spent on screen. And Thanos got the most time. This is his story. This is his mission. And, you know, in a way, this was sort of, Avengers Infinity War was more an adaptation of Thanos' quest. Yeah. And I've said that to you before, you know, when we talked about this movie personally. But Thanos' quest is sort of the precursor to the Infinity Gauntlet comic book, which is actually like, you know, the ultimate fight against Thanos. You know, that Infinity War was technically adapting, but it was more like Thanos' quest, where it's a story focused on Thanos going around the universe, whooping whoever's ass needs to get whooped, using his brain, using his conniving ways, using his wit to outsmart people around the galaxy in order to get the Infinity Stones. And he did just that in this movie. He beat ass. You know, he tortured who had to torture. He killed who he had to kill. He threatened who he had to threaten. He used his wit on the Guardians, when they went to quote unquote stop him from getting the Reality Stone. You know, like, and he played with his food, which is something that Thanos has been known to do in the comics. Yeah. Like, this was, aside from his power level, because I'll be honest with you, got a little bit of a nerf from the comics. Other than that, this is quintessential Thanos. And credit to the Russo brothers, because let's be honest, Thanos has been hyped up for over 6 years now, and they made it work.
They did.
I don't know how they did.
I feel like they over-delivered. Honestly,
I did not think that they would. I did not think they could pull it off. Honestly.
Yeah.
I was afraid that Thanos would underwhelm, especially when I found out it was all CG. I was like, no. I was like, oh damn. You know, like I didn't want. I was like, this has a potential to not work, and they made it work. I mean, yeah, Avengers 4 still has to come out, and they still have to show us that. But I mean, Thanos. I mean, even the emotional range that he showed, like during his scenes where he was, you know, highly emotional with particularly with Gamora, who didn't make this list because, let's be honest, you know, she kind of, you know, they hit her with the damsel of distress, you know, duties, and you know, the emotional range, you know, for Gamora was great too. Like she showed plenty of emotion. She was fantastic in that respect too. But you know, Thanos, you know, when he when he basically revealed that he loved Gamora, I mean, the look on his face. Even Dad Thanos, when they show that flashback where, you know, he talks to Gamora and he sort of like turns her away as he kills half of her people. I mean, Thanos was so well done.
Yeah. So
well done. Like we're gonna have to do like a top villains video just because of Thanos. Like we did top 5 Marvel villains video before, you know, prior to the release, I think of sometime before Black Panther, maybe after Homecoming. I'm not sure when it was, but we're gonna have to do an update just because. But man, shout out to the Russo brothers. Boyce, any final words before we hand this over to the leaguers, man, and give them up? You know, they give us part 2 of this conversation where they talk to us about what we've said in this video here.
Yeah, I mean, this is like I agree with everything you said about Thanos. You know, he had some amazing moments, some like all-time MCU moments, and maybe that's an entirely different discussion in some, you know, in the future for us. Just, you know, our top moments in the MCU. But I mean, to put hands on the Hulk the way he did, and to, like you said,
I like how you said it. Like you didn't talk about it like, yo, like the Hulk came to pick a fight, or like they had like a fight. You were like, yo, he put his hands on him. Like you said it like though, like Hulk got abused. You were like, yo, he put his hands on him, bro. Like he like did something to Hulk that was not right. Like you like, yo, he hurt this man.
He sat him in the corner. He sat him in the corner,
bro. He was like, yo, he spanked him. He was like, yo, it's like, you're my son, bro. He said, look at me, I am the captain now. He said, like, and he put him down. My man Hulk was dancing and prancing, bro. I was like, oh, it was. Anyway, y'all, let us know what you think in the comments below. Let us know what you think of our top 5 Infinity War characters. Let us know what you thought about the movie. Let us know if you enjoyed Thanos. Let us know if you disagree with anyone on this list. Let us know what your personal top 5 list of Infinity War characters are. And by all means, support the Spectacular Spoiler League by hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that little bell icon to turn on notifications and be up to date with the latest and greatest coming from the Spectacular Spoiler League. Drop a like on this video to let us know that you enjoyed this conversation and help us get the word out here on this video and the Spectacular Spoiler League. We will see you guys on the next one. Destiny has arrived, everybody. Peace out.
Peace.